If there is one title in the Naruto world that carries more weight than any other, it is Hokage. The Hokage is not just the strongest shinobi in the village. The Hokage is its shield, its foundation, its moral compass, and above all, the living embodiment of the will of fire. From an era where children were raised on battlefields to a time where peace became possible, every Hokage ruled under different circumstances, faced different enemies, and left behind a legacy that permanently shaped the shinobi world. This video is not a surface-level summary. This is the complete canon-accurate history of every Hokage, their origins, ideology, power, abilities, failures, and achievements, told exactly as the manga and databooks present them. Hashirama Senju, the first Hokage. Hashirama Senju was born during the Warring States period, an era defined by endless bloodshed between shinobi clans. As the leader of the Senju clan, Hashirama was raised in war, yet unlike most shinobi of his time, he genuinely believed that peace could be achieved without total annihilation of one's enemies. His life was inseparably tied to Madara Uchiha. As children, they dreamed of a world without war. But as adults, they stood on opposite sides of history. Where Madara sought peace through absolute control, Hashirama believed peace could only exist through trust, cooperation, and shared responsibility. Together, they founded Konoha, the first hidden village, ending the Warring States period and changing the world forever. Hashirama was unanimously chosen as the first Hokage, not merely because of his strength, but because he represented hope. Hashirama originated the will of fire, the belief that the village is a family, and that the Hokage must protect everyone within it as their own children. This philosophy became the spiritual backbone of Konoha. In terms of power, Hashirama was a phenomenon. He possessed wood release, a Kekkei Genkai that combined earth and water natures, allowing him to create living forests, restrain tailed beasts, and reshape battlefields. He was also one of the few shinobi capable of entering Sage Mode, enhancing his already monstrous chakra and physical abilities. His chakra reserves were so vast that they rivaled the tailed beasts themselves. He could regenerate injuries without weaving hand signs, a feat unmatched even centuries later. Hashirama defeated Madara Uchiha multiple times, including their final battle at the Valley of the End, where Madara fought while controlling the Nine Tails. That single victory cemented Hashirama's reputation as the god of shinobi. As Hokage, Hashirama made the controversial decision to distribute the captured tailed beasts among other villages, not as weapons, but as a deterrent to maintain balance. This act defined early shinobi politics. Hashirama Senju was not perfect, but he was unmatched in vision, strength, and humanity. He created the very concept of peace in the shinobi world. Tobirama Senju, the second Hokage. Where Hashirama ruled with ideals, Tobirama ruled with structure. Tobirama Senju grew up watching his brothers die at the hands of enemy clans, particularly the Uchiha. These experiences shaped him into a realist who understood that peace could not survive without strong institutions. After Hashirama's death, Tobirama became the second Hokage and immediately began building the systems that would define Konoha for generations. He believed the village needed rules, checks, and balance, not blind faith. Tobirama was one of the most brilliant shinobi minds in history. He was a master of water release, capable of performing high-level techniques without a water source. His sensory abilities allowed him to detect enemies across vast distances, and his speed rivaled the fastest shinobi of any era. More importantly, Tobirama was a revolutionary inventor of jutsu. He created the shadow clone technique, a method of dividing chakra that later became iconic through Naruto. He also developed the Flying Thunder God technique, a space-time ninjutsu allowing instantaneous teleportation. Minato would later perfect it, but Tobirama created it. His most infamous creation was Edo Tensei, the impure world reincarnation technique. Though later abused by Orochimaru and Kabuto, Tobirama originally conceived it as a wartime strategy. Politically, Tobirama established the Ninja Academy, the Chunin exams, the ANBU Black Ops, and the Uchiha military police force. His decision to place the Uchiha in charge of law enforcement remains one of the most debated actions in Konoha's history. Tobirama died during the First Great Ninja War, sacrificing himself to allow his students, including Hiruzen Sarutobi, to escape. His death was the ultimate expression of the will of fire he helped. Hiruzen Sarutobi, the third Hokage. Hiruzen Sarutobi was a direct student of both Hashirama and Tobirama, inheriting their philosophies and contradictions. He became Hokage at a young age, and would later resume the position after the fourth Hokage's death, making him the longest-serving Hokage in Konoha's history. Hiruzen believed deeply in compassion. He saw every villager as family and tried to rule with empathy rather than fear. However, this same kindness often led to hesitation, particularly in dealing with Orochimaru and Danzo. In his prime, Hiruzen was known as the Professor, a shinobi who had mastered every non-Kekkei Genkai jutsu in Konoha. Databooks state that he possessed all 5 basic nature transformations and extensive knowledge of sealing techniques. His summoning partner, Enma the Monkey King, transformed into the adamantine staff, one of the most durable weapons in the series. Even in old age, Hiruzen fought Orochimaru and reanimated versions of Hashirama and Tobirama simultaneously. Despite his physical decline, his tactical brilliance never faded. Hiruzen led Konoha through the First, Second, and Third Great Ninja Wars, trained the legendary Canon, and protected the village during the Nine Tails attack. Though he failed to stop its devastating cost, he ultimately sacrificed his life, using the Reaper Death Seal to stop Orochimaru, sealing away his arms. Hiruzen's reign was flawed, but his love for the village was unquestionable. Minato Namikaze, the fourth Hokage. Minato Namikaze rose from a nameless orphan to a legend feared across nations. During the Third Great Ninja War, enemy shinobi were given standing orders to flee on sight if they encountered him. Minato was a prodigy of rare caliber. He mastered the Flying Thunder God technique to a level even Tobirama did not reach, combining it with unmatched reflexes and intelligence. He created the Rasengan, a technique inspired by the tailed beast ball, though he never completed its elemental variation. He also possessed Sage Mode, though he admitted it was not his strongest skill due to the time required to gather natural energy. As Hokage, Minato's reign was brief but monumental. When the Nine Tails attacked Konoha, Minato confronted Obito Uchiha, saved the village, and made the impossible choice to sacrifice himself and Kushina Uzumaki. He sealed half of Kurama into his newborn son, Naruto, believing the future would need strength greater than his own. Minato's legacy is one of brilliance, speed, and selfless sacrifice. Tsunade Senju, the fifth Hokage. Tsunade, granddaughter of Hashirama Senju, was burdened by loss from a young age. The deaths of her brother Nawaki and her lover Dan shattered her faith in the shinobi system, driving her away from the village. She returned only when Konoha stood on the brink of collapse. As Hokage, Tsunade transformed the role itself. She believed the primary duty of the Hokage was not military victory, but the preservation of life. She mandated that every ninja squad include a medical ninja, a policy that drastically increased survival rates. Tsunade was the greatest medical ninja in history. Her creation rebirth technique and strength of 100 seal allowed her to regenerate from fatal injuries and fight continuously without exhaustion. Her chakra-enhanced strength made her physically one of the strongest shinobi to ever live. She led the village through Orochimaru's continued threats, Pain's invasion, and the early stages of the Fourth Great Ninja War. Despite falling into a coma after Pain's attack, her leadership saved countless lives. Kakashi Hatake, the sixth Hokage. Kakashi Hatake became Hokage after the Fourth Great Ninja War, inheriting a world finally at peace. Known as the Copy Ninja, Kakashi mastered over 1,000 jutsu, thanks to his Sharingan. Though not born an Uchiha, he wielded the Sharingan with exceptional skill, and later awakened the Mangekyo, granting him Kamui. After losing the Sharingan, Kakashi did not grow weaker. Canon material confirms he became more efficient, refined his chakra control, and developed new techniques to compensate. For example, he developed Purple Lightning to replace Chidori, and relied increasingly on experience and strategy over raw power. His reign is remembered as a quiet but essential bridge into the modern era. As Hokage, Kakashi focused on modernization, diplomacy, and rebuilding. He strengthened relations between the five great nations and supported the early integration of scientific ninja tools, choosing regulation and oversight rather than prohibition. This decision directly influenced the technological landscape of the Naruto era. His reign laid the foundation for the peaceful era Naruto would inherit. Naruto Uzumaki, the seventh Hokage. Naruto Uzumaki began life as the village's most hated outcast. Yet through perseverance, compassion, and unwavering belief in others, he achieved what no Hokage before him could. Naruto mastered Shadow Clone, and it became his specialty. He mastered Sage Mode, the Rasengan. He then invented the Rasen Shuriken, a more powerful and destructive version of the Rasengan, by adding wind chakra nature to it, and also created many varieties of the Rasen Shuriken. And eventually he mastered the power of all nine-tailed beasts. His 6 paths, Sage Mode, placed him among the strongest beings in shinobi history. Naruto's jutsu bag was loaded. But Naruto's true strength was never his power. It was his ability to break cycles of hatred. As Hokage, Naruto achieved lasting peace between the 5 great nations. He governed a unified world while protecting it from new, non-traditional threats such as the Otsutsuki. He fulfilled Hashirama's original dream, not through force, but through understanding. Naruto Uzumaki is the culmination of every Hokage who came before him, the living will of fire. So that's the complete story of the Hokage, not just their power, but their choices, their sacrifices, and the legacy they left behind. From Hashirama's dream to Naruto's era of peace, every Hokage carried the will of fire in their own way, and together they shaped the shinobi world we know today. If you enjoyed this breakdown, please take a moment to like the video. It really helps the channel grow. Subscribe for more deep dives like this, and share it with anyone who loves Naruto lore as much as you do. And if you want to keep going, check out my other Naruto explanations on the channel. There's a lot more waiting for you. I'll see you on my next video. Until next time, stay curious and stay connected.